Look at that pigmentation though, you guys. Look at that pigmentation. That is a highlight, you guys. Like, she is highlighty. We are going to have it. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're doing something a little different. We are doing a full look of like new in products that I haven't talked about on this channel yet, but I've been trying and testing them out. And I thought this would be fun. Products that don't necessarily need like a full dedicated video, but products you might be curious about. So I have like a good collection here. I made sure I had a good collection to do a full face, and I'm excited to get into this video. I would love to know down below before we get into it, what are you kind of looking for on this channel? More brand focus, more store focus, more kind of unique products, like brands that aren't talked about a lot. You want brands that are more talked about a lot. Let me know down below. I kind of try and do a mix of everything, but let me know down below. And if there are any makeup looks that you want me to create, also let me know down below. I would love to know. And yeah, I just want to jump into this video and get started. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this a full face of new clean beauty makeup video. That feels like a long name, but let's get into it. All right, you guys, let's get into this full face of new clean beauty. First things first, I have this. Undone Beauty actually sent me these. These are their serum tint, their sheer radiance serum tint, enhancing wand for a lit from within glow. And I actually don't think the names of the colors are on here. I'm gonna make sure I swatch everything. I don't know where the name is, so I'm gonna swatch them, but these are really interesting. I've been trying these out, and they have like a little kind of that thing that comes with the Charlotte Tilbury wands that people love so much. It's kind of like that same kind of fabric. It's not necessarily quite the same, and when you get it, it's fully clear or whatever. It's just white, and then it fills in with the colors. So this is, maybe I should look up the shades since I'm having a hard time finding them. So this shade here, I believe, is the shade Deep Bronze. There's three shades like you saw. Oh yeah, this is Deep Bronze. And this is the shade, and you can see it kind of comes out like that, and it gives you like a nice little color, like a bronzy tone, which is nice. So this is light beige, so you can see. And then we have this shade here, which is Warm Gold. Now that I got the hang of what shades are what, this is Warm Gold. You can kind of see the difference between the shades there, all so pretty. So this is the bronze, the light beige, and the warm gold is really, really pretty. And I think based off of like where my skin is at right now, I'm gonna go with warm gold because it just is vibing with me right now, the shade. And this is kind of like a glowy primer type situation. And I'm going to, I have to be honest, I don't love applying this to my face directly with the component, but I'm going to do it because I should probably get the mirror closer to me. And we're just gonna apply, I wonder if you can see, to the face, and you can kind of press and get more product out. I don't press too much because I made that mistake when I first got these, and it kind of turned a little bit crazy. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just blend with my fingers. You can use a brush if you want. You can also use like a sponge. I actually prefer this with fingers. I feel like it just melts into the skin so seamlessly and so flawlessly. And it does give like, let me just show you, let me show you maybe this one because it kind of, so this is the light beige color, and when you blend it out, it gives you just this really pretty sheen to the face, but it isn't like glittery. I don't know how to explain. It's like a very, very light sheen color. It kind of does remind me of the Charlotte Tilbury, not necessarily, it's not a dupe or anything like that, but it does kind of remind me of that like sheen that it gives to the face, or even the e.l.f. Halo Glow, which is the dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury. This kind of gives me that same vibe. It doesn't, obviously it doesn't have any coverage or anything like that, but it does give you just such a healthy looking complexion. Look at that. So what I am going to do too is I'm going to do a little bit of bronze right here before I move on. Look at that. It's a really nice bronze tone. So this is like the only bronze tone, and I do hope they kind of expand because, like, inclusivity. I'm gonna push it here. It might be a little bit much. That's probably a little bit much, but here we are. I'm actually gonna take a beauty sponge to blend that out. And I just want you to see kind of how it blends. It really does blend into, not nothing, but it blends into the skin like so beautifully. So with these, you don't need to move like crazy fast to blend it out, but I will say if you're using it for bronzer, just don't like let it sit for too long, because I do find that it gets a little bit of tack to it because it is a primer, which is nice, and it does make your makeup last longer, but because it is a primer and it does have tack, you don't want it to sit too long. Next, I'm going to just go on with a foundation really quick, and then we're going to move on to everything else. I'm going to do foundation and concealer really quick. I'm going to do the Exa Beauty foundation. I'm going to just do like one pump of this. And this just applies so beautifully on top of that primer. It just like melts into the skin, but it does like really stick to the skin because again, that primer does have some tack to it, but not in a way where like it's crazy. Like you're not gonna like, if the wind is blowing and there's leaves in the air, you're not gonna have like leaves stuck to your face. It's not like that type of sticky, but it has some tack to it, which I actually do really enjoy. I'm gonna apply a little bit of concealer to my under eye using the Cool Feet Concealer in Mango Drop. Happy with how that's looking, happy with how that blended. Let's move on to cheeks and stuff like that. So I did get these palettes from Undone Beauty as well, and these are gorgeous. So this is the Neapolitan Cream Palette, and these are their 4-in-1 color cream palettes. Then there's this one, which is like screaming spring, their Strawberry Cream Palette, and this one is their Espresso Cream Palette, which like, you guys, gorge. So these are all of them swatched out for you. So you have strawberry cream here, you have the Neapolitan here, these 4, and then you have the espresso cream here. Okay, so those are those swatched. They're very, very pigmented, as you can see. Beware. I'm gonna apply a little bit of bronzer, just a touch of bronzer to my cheeks to add a little bit of bronze before I kind of go and move on to the rest of the blush and stuff like that. So what I do think I'm going to do is I'm going to go on with this color here, and I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. I learned the hard way when I first like started testing these out that she is pigmented. We are going to have it. Oh my take a little bit, oh, good thing. I'm going to take a little bit off on the back of my hand because Jesus, that's pigmented. I'm just going to apply it directly to my cheeks, but I don't want it to be too overwhelming. You can always add more. You can always add more, but just do your best to not over apply. I mean, luckily you can easily blend it out. Ooh, this is Clown Central. I always forget when I'm applying a really pigmented blush. It doesn't matter how many times I've used this. I've used these palettes specifically like a good amount of times, and I always forget how pigmented they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just take a clean like brush, and I'm going to kind of go around the edges and just tone it down so it doesn't look quite so cray. Okay, well, we are pigmented. I'm going to show you how much is left on the back of my hand. I applied it, just kind of did that, tapped it off on the back of my hand here, and that is already like stained. It's crazy how pigmented this is. It really is. The only thing I will say about these palettes is that they are really hard to work with because you have to be really precise in getting in there. And I don't love that about these palettes. I also didn't love that about the previous palettes I've used that were kind of like this, because it looks cute and whatever, but getting into the product can be tough, and you kind of mix them together a little bit, but that's okay. Next, I'm going to go on with a highlight, and I actually think the highlight I'm going to go on is from the Peaches and Cream, not Peaches and Cream, girl, absolutely not, from the Neapolitan palette, and I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm going to apply it to the high points of my cheeks, just so you can see, like, that is a highlight, you guys. Like, she is highlighty for sure. And I'm just gonna apply that right here. I feel like the shade from the Peaches, girl, get it together, from the Strawberry and Cream palette was a little bit too, like, it's a little too pinky for me, and I prefer something a little bit more gold like this one. But it is a really pretty palette, and I actually am going to bring it a little far forward. Because I don't know, I just love that. Okay, next we're gonna move on to eyes. So I have two palettes here from Rose Inc. I have this one. This is like the prettiest. I think this is what I'm gonna go with because I love this like green. I mean, look, I have to match this like green olive color. And then I also have this one, the Satin Cocoa white gold shimmer. However, the white gold shimmer, I actually that actually broke out of this palette, and I did replace it with a different eyeshadow that I really like to use with this one. But I do think I'm going to go in with this palette here. This is again the Satin Olive Khaki Shimmer eyeshadow palette. And what I'm first going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of bronzer, nothing too crazy, and I am going to put it in my crease just to have a little bit of dimension. Have you guys tried the Rose Inc eyeshadow palettes? I would love to know if you have and what your thoughts are. Okay, now that that is kind of laid down, I'm going to go in with this khaki kind of olive color. Now, I do like to just use my finger to apply this, and I'm going to apply this all over the lid, and we're going to see how I haven't really thought this look through with like the pink cheeks. So I'm thinking it's going to look a little crazy, but we'll see. I would usually do a more neutral cheek if I was going this ham sandy. Look at that pigmentation though, you guys. Look at that pigmentation. Then I'm going to take a little bit of that bronzer, and I'm actually going to just blend it all together like that. What do you guys think? Such a pretty color. So I'm going to do the other side now. We're not done with this eye look. I promise you, this is going to be an involved eye look. I should probably use my other finger. That makes more sense. Okay, so that is that blended for now. We're not 100% done. I am going to take a little bit of that bronzer shade and pull it on my lower lash line for now. So pretty. Then what I am going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the green, you guys. I'm going to pull a little green down. I think if you're going to commit to an olive eye, you got to commit to it. So I have a little bit on the back of this brush, or on this brush. I'm going to take a little bit off on the back of my hand so that it's not too much. And I'm going to kind of build it up and focus more towards the back. Do you see how it's not too much, but it is depositing some color, but it's not so intense that you're like, whoa, honey, are you okay? You kind of want to work your way up, especially when you're using color, because sometimes it can get away from you pretty quickly. Now that that's done, I'm going to take this khaki shimmer color, and I'm going to just swatch this for you guys on the back of my hand. It is really simple, and it's not super intense or anything like that. And I am going to take a bit and just apply it, like lightly stamp it towards the front of the eye and kind of pull it forward, and not too much, and kind of create a bit of a gradient look. Do you see what that does? It adds a little bit of dimension to the eye, but I'm not pulling it too far forward, but I am lightly blending it in so it kind of like pulls all the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush, and I'm going to just kind of blend the two colors together, so it kind of is a little bit more seamless, if that makes sense. Look at that, so pretty. Okay, so then next we're gonna go on to something else that is new, and I have been loving the Tower 28 multi-liner. I have talked about this before, kind of in passing in like favorites videos and stuff like that, but I do want to mention this here. So this is a multi-liner. You can use it on your lips. You can use it on your eyes. You can use it on your face. I really like it on my lips and my eyes. I am going to apply a little bit of liner just to my upper lash line. Okay, next we're going to move on to mascara. Another Rose Inc product. This is their new mascara that they came out with, and this is their wand. So it's a plastic wand. Oh my gosh, look at all that staining. I'm looking crazy. And I was actually excited to see that it was a plastic wand, because in the recent like 2-3 years have been loving plastic wands, but before that I was like, honey, no. So I'm going to apply that. I'm going to look down into this mirror, because I always find like looking down in a mirror is easy, and I'm going to apply this mascara, and this is meant to be a lengthening and curling mascara. Okay, so that is one side done. I'm going to do bottom lashes at the end. I'm going to do this side, but I want to pull you in close really quick so you can kind of see what's happening. And next, I'm going to go on to the other side. We're going to do bottom lashes, and then we're going to kind of talk about it and move on. Okay, so that is that done. What I will say about this mascara is I do love how it does lengthen. It's not the most lengthening mascara I've ever used, but it does lengthen lashes, and I do find that it holds a curl really, really well. What I don't love about this mascara is the fact that I do find, and it kind of depends on the look I'm going for, to be fair, that I do find, unless I do a really good job of cleaning off this wand, I get clumping. Now, you can probably see on this eye, I do have some clumping going on, and I do feel like it clumped relatively quickly. On this eye, I didn't really find that, but I do find that I can get some clumping. There are days where I don't get any clumping, but this is a mascara wand I need to clean off really, really well. Not because I feel like it runs like crazy. I do feel like it can flake at times. It doesn't run like crazy or anything like that, but the reason that I have to clean this off so well is because if I don't, I do get a significant amount of clumping. And this isn't like a super, super wet formula. I feel like it is not waxy, but it is like not super thin, but it isn't super thick or dry. It's kind of in the middle of being, it's a little bit more on the thick side in terms of consistency. And I do feel like it's a good mess. It's like supposed to be more healthy and fortifying for your lashes. And I do find for my lashes specifically, and this is not that I don't think that everyone would agree with this, but for my lashes specifically, mascaras that are meant to be like super like healthy and like have oils and stuff like that in it, I find clump on me really easily. So that's the only thing, but I do actually really enjoy the way that this wears throughout the day, and that I just have to kind of make sure when I'm applying it, I'm cleaning off the wand really, really well. Okay, so next I do think I have lips. You know what, let's do powder. I do want to powder a little bit. I'm going to powder with this powder that I am testing, the Westman Atelier powder, and this is their translucent shade. Now, I don't want to give a full review until I am 100% like, I normally test things from a really, really long time, 100% sure on what I want to say about this, because this is very, very expensive. When stuff is more on the expensive side, I do tend to test for a lot longer, just because, you know, I do have my thoughts, but I do want to make sure I'm giving it like the most like just time, because if something's expensive, I want to make sure if I should suggest it or I don't suggest it or whatever, that it is very, very, very well tested, and it's not just tested for a month. It's tested for a long time, and I tend to try and test powders for at least a month. And so we got a little bit more testing to do on this one, and I do have some thoughts on it, but I do want to make sure it's like really well tested out. Happy with how that's looking. A little less shiny. Next, let's move on to lips. And I do have this like, what is this called? This is a Forever Lip, and this is like a pen liquid liner from Undone Beauty, and this is in the shade Pink Beige. And so there's two sides. There's this side, which is like more pinpointy, and then there is this side, which is less pinpointy and a little bit still pinpointy, but a little, you know, more, it's bigger. And I'm gonna line my lips with the more pinpointed side. My lips are so dry, and I'm gonna just line my lips, and we're gonna kind of see how it looks. Okay, so that is, you can kind of see that lining. Now, the smaller side, I find to be a little bit too bendy for my lips, and I have preferred using the thicker side, but I wanted to show you how the thin side applied. So I'm going to do the same thing with this and just line my lips with it. So that is kind of how that is looking. I'm going to let that sit for a second, marinate, so you can see kind of how the stain is. I know this looks crazy. I know it looks crazy. I know it looks crazy. Look how the stain is, and then we're going to move on to other lip products, just so you can see kind of how the stain is. I don't want to stain my whole lip because we have a couple other pigmented products that we want to use. Okay, so I let that sit for a few minutes, and now we're going to remove what is on my lips, just so you can kind of see how it stains. And you see how the stain is still there? It doesn't like come off. So it is a good stain, and the stain is not uniform throughout, but that's okay. Next, we're gonna move on to, I have a lip balm and a lipstick. So I have used this lipstick before, but I haven't given like a full breakdown and review on this. So this is from Freck Beauty, and this is in the shade Main Character. And this is their like soft matte kind of lipstick, and it does work really well with this lip liner. I have used this combo before and have enjoyed it, and this is a very like, even though it is matte, I feel like this makeup looks crazy. Even though it is matte, I do really enjoy the way that it sits, and it's not like my lips aren't peeling, dying, screaming, crying, throwing up by the end of the day. It's still really comfortable wear. And it looks a little bit warmer in the monitor than it does in person, but I do really enjoy this color, and it looks really, really pretty. Now, it wears really nicely throughout the day. I don't know if I said that, so I'm gonna repeat myself. It wears nicely throughout the day, and I do feel like the longevity is there because it is more on the matte side and it doesn't have any shine. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the color? What do you guys think of the lip liner? Okay, so next I just took that off because I wanted to try something on so you could see the pigmentation. And this is the K-Skin, and you know how much I love K-Skin, their sunscreen, girl. This is their Isle Lip Balm SPF 30, and I have the shade Ivory Rose, and I'm gonna apply this to my lips. So I do actually really enjoy this color, and the pigmentation is pretty impressive, don't you think? What I will say is I do believe on their website, I don't know if at Sephora it says this, but I do believe on their website that said this was like kind of water resistant up to 40 minutes, which really intrigued me. I love a tinted lip balm. I'm currently testing so many tinted lip balms for you guys so I can do a fun tinted lip balm video. But I do love a tinted lip balm. Now, what I want to say is this does taste like SPF. This does have a little bit of a sunscreen taste. It's not the most intense sunscreen taste. Like I've had other lip balms that were more sunscreeny, but this does taste like sunscreen a little bit. So if that bothers you, this won't be for you because of the SPF 30. But I do really enjoy it, and I feel like these three together look really, really nice. Maybe I'll put a little bit of this on top. Just cause, why not? They all like look so pretty together. I mean, look at that lip, look at that eye, look at all of this, so pretty. I do really actually enjoy these lip products. I will say I only like to use this as a lip liner, not a lip stain. This lip stain all over the lips, I do find to be slightly drying. It's not like lip stains in general tend to be drying. It's not the most drying product, but I do find that I like to wear this as a lip liner and not all over the lips, just because it's not my favorite for that. I really like this. I like to blend this out and make this a stain. This is like such a good product, and I do believe Main Character has been sold out for a little bit, but if you can get your hands on this shade specifically, I think it'll look so good on so many different people. There's also like this gorgeous brown shade that like, yeah, put it in me. I need it. I need to order it because I love this formulation of product. And this is really nice. I do really enjoy using this, but again, it does taste like a little bit like sunscreen. So you just have to be conscious of that. And yeah, that's it for this video. That is it for this new clean beauty video where we did a full try on. Let me know what you think of videos like this. Do you like the green eye? What do you think of the lip? What do you think of the cheek? What do you think of the pigmentation of the cheek? Let me know down below. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.